What if men become extinct? That's the premise of the story of this book, Woman World by Aminder Daliwal. So what happens? What happens if men become extinct? Well, things become fun and funny. Women live a beautiful life, sometimes hard, sometimes painful, sometimes heartbroken, but always, always a beautiful life. Exactly like the world that we live in now, except without men. So I'd like to share with you certain strips, certain sections that I love. The entire book is good, but there's just I would share 5 different parts. One is this part. So that's a doctor, and she's actually talking to different patients, and so she asks, "How do you feel?" So she answered, "This is the patient, good." The next patient, "How do you feel?" And then this one answered, "Good." And then talk to the other one, "How do you feel?" And then she answered, "With my hands." Of course, you answer. You feel with your hands. She's funny. And then this other section, I really love this section. I'm having trouble. So there's two people the two women that are talking. Of course, they're women. There's just no other character. Men are extinct. I'm having trouble with my poetry lately. I feel like my emotions are so intensely dense that they're clogging me. I await the sweet release of all the pressure inside of me and hope it makes its way to paper. This is good stuff. I'm writing it down, she said. What did I say? And so she turns to the person that she's talking to, and then the other person says something about being constipated and needing toilet paper. Beautiful. The other one that I love, that I really love, is this part. So there are two women, and one of them broke up with her girlfriend. So the heartbroken one, it says, so me and Lara get into the argument, and I tell her, if you love someone, sometimes you let them win an argument. But she gives me this face and makes me feel like an ass. I'm done talking about it. How do we even get to this? She's still here, she's still talking. And then the other one answered, I don't know. You sat down and asked, hey, how's it going? And then launched into your own story. Oh, right. So it goes back to the brokenhearted one. Oh, right. How's it going? And so the other one answered, okay, just trying to work on my poetry. And then the other one bought it again. Like, I can't even explain the face you gave me. And back to the topic. Love it. Okay. This one I really love. So they actually have a character, an older one, who she lived in a time when there were still men. So she's a little older and everyone's younger than she is. So a woman enters. Mayor Gaia, I discovered something disturbing on my medical supply run. I found an old factory that was manufacturing male androids. I hypothesized mankind was attempting to live on mechanically. But before they could finish, they were wiped out. Mother of God, how close did they come to creating a fully functioning male android? Well, only as far as the mechanical male genitalia. And then the old woman butted in, a dildo. You found a dildo factory. Next, so they were exploring a certain place in their area. And so they entered this place, and it's very, very dark. And one of the characters said, absolutely stunning, such grand architecture. And then her friend answered, Emiko, Yumi, what are you doing here? I felt an urge to explore the ruins, to seek answers from the past. There's so much wisdom trapped in these walls. And then they zoom out, and it's actually just Starbucks. Nice. Okay. And this is the last one that I'm going to share, and this is my absolute favorite. So the old woman, she had young students, and she gave them an assignment to reenact certain stuff, some certain events from the past. And so she said, okay, girls, time for your history presentations. I'm excited to see what historic events you chose to reenact. So the 3 girls go on. And one of the first girl said, our skin is equal. Second girl says, my skin is good. And then the third one says, my skin is the best. And then they battle, and then they all fall down. So they all die. And so the old woman says, ah, okay, what battle were you reenacting? And then one of them says, take your pick. And the old woman says, oh shit, historic bird. It's just funny. She's so funny. Okay, so those are 5 parts that I really really love, because that part when you the two people that were talking and one was brokenhearted, one of the things that I realized is that there's always this unexplainable bond between women. And maybe it's the monthly cycle that we all share, or the breasts that we all have, the expectations that come about with being a woman, or probably the natural softness or the grace that apparently women have. I probably don't have that, but anyway. But there's always this voice, of a certain voice that we all have. We share that voice. We all speak that through that voice and with that voice. It's there's a language, sort of a language that we all speak, that even though we come from different parts, from opposing parts of the world, we still speak that same language. And that scene about that woman writing poetry, and the other woman reacting that way, like, oh, it's about you getting constipation or something. It's so familiar, because we all have that friend in our life, the one that's so practical, the one person in our life that we always run to this person when we have a failed romance, or something's bothering us about our careers or our family. We run to this person, and it's the familiarity between that person and us. It's so ordinary. It's such a huge part of us already that it becomes mechanical. We can treat it, because it's so assured. We're so assured and so comfortable and so confident of that relationship. We kind of can treat that with such an abandon, but not disregard. It's just that we know already. We don't have to go all emotional, and we don't need to be grand with our gesture. We just know that we're heard, or that we hear that person, that even though that person isn't leveling with us in terms of emotion, it doesn't mean that they don't accept, understand, and that they're not there for us. So it's just that that they know, something like that. So I think that's why I like that specific scene. Number 2, we have a guest. He wanted to be picked up. So number 2 is that there's that scene in Starbucks. There's if you live in California, the amount of people that you will see walking in the street with a cup of Starbucks is just unimaginable. But it that scene in the book about Starbucks, it kind of reminded me that a lot of the things that we actually hold dear are unnecessary. It's easy to get caught up in the grind, in the glamour, in trying to keep up with trends, with friends and stuff, that we start channeling a lot of our energy and spending a lot of time on things that aren't really that important. And important things are family and friends, and doing your best in the thing that you're doing, and trying to help as many people as you can, and loving as many people as you can the best way that you can, and getting pets like this one. So it just kind of reminded me to check myself again, let go of a lot of the luxuries, a lot of the unnecessary, because that's keeping me from spending time and pouring my energy on the things that really matter. When I just want to be reminded, that scene reminded me that when we're stripped bare of everything else, the things that will remain in us, and the things that we will choose to remain in us, those are the things that we need to pay attention to and spend time on, even when we have the time to devote to something else. I hope that makes sense. Number 3 is struggles and war and fights that we've had. They're all the same in its core. the reason is the same. It's one person, one race, one country trying to dominate other countries or other race or other people. It's, the details are the same, the embellishments are different, but the core is the same, is what I meant. So that scene when the old lady says, "Oh, historic burn," it's so true, because if you actually study all the wars, big and small, all the misunderstandings, it's the same. It's one person trying to establish themselves to be better. It's one race or one country or one person trying to establish themselves or himself to be better than everybody else. Number 4 is that we're fine. Even without men, we are going to be fine. We will find love amongst each other, romantic or otherwise. We will learn things to survive, and we will have some trouble learning new things, but we will learn them, because there will be no preconceived notions of what we can do or should do. We will just do it because it needs to be done. And number 5 is that endings aren't necessarily satisfying, but it's the journey that matters. So I recommend this book. Please get a copy if you can. Woman World